no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no.
What's happening, YouTube? It's K-Mega405 live from the 45, where I'm just your regular gamer talking to the intelligent gamers out there. Now, I'm going to be touching on two subjects, but one right now that has gotten me tripping out right now is about VR. Now, I'm pretty sure people already know how I feel about VR overall. It's just that something that I'm not totally interested in. It's something that I'm not wanting right now. And for hearing two particular things today, it even makes me more not interested in VR. Not right now. Not saying it's not something that I wouldn't get into later on. It's just that one of my biggest problems is that I feel that the tech, as much as I know that the Vive and the Oculus, they have put a lot of time and effort to try to get the things right with the frames per second, things like that. But like when you go to the PlayStation VR, it seems like they haven't had enough time to look into everything and to touch every aspect to make sure that people are safe. But before I get into the part of the health issue problem that I was just reading here earlier today, I was hearing that there was a report that Sony is going to, I don't know if this is a survey or this is already happening. So I'm going to be fair because I think it's more of a survey to ask to see if it's okay for people to be charged to pay to play PlayStation VR, just I guess through a sit through from 10 to 30 minutes. Now, for real. Okay, so if you're really thinking that paying to sit there to have the experience is worth it, then you're absolutely killing yourself already. If this is absolutely happening right now, I can see why the sales for the PlayStation VR is not flying off the shelves. Because let's just say somebody just has just enough money to just buy the PlayStation VR. And if they want to experience it and just feel what it's like right then and there, and they don't have, let's say it's, $5 to $20, that's tax. I'm just saying, I mean, that's happened to me before, where I've just had enough to pay for something that I wanted. And, that just makes no sense. And for 10 to 30 minutes, that's a long ass time. I mean, that's a long time to get immersed into that. So I'm thinking maybe 10, 15 minutes should be the maximum, right? But to have anybody pay just to experience it is wrong on all levels. That is horrible customer service. That is, again, what I've been talking about. So, come on now, Sony. I hope this is just a survey. This is just something that I was reading, and I hope this is not real. If it is, I'm done. But another reason why I'm done for real is that I also read a report and watched a video from somebody. I'm gonna put his video in the description, which was really tripping me out, that people are using these things to get a feel of it, to play it, to experience it or whatever. The VR machines, I guess it's all of them. And they're catching some shit called an eye herpes. No, you heard me right. An eye herpes. I've never heard of that word ever before in my life. And I heard of herpes. You know what I'm saying? I've heard that. Some of you nasty motherfuckers out there, we know what you got. But that's cool. Nobody ain't tripping. It's safe. You got medicine. But an eye herpes? What? People should be running away right now from every VR machine. But in all seriousness, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I don't know if it's contagious, like real herpes or anything. I don't know, like if you touch your eye, you could get it on your groin or whatever. I don't know. That stuff I didn't read that deep into when I was reading the terminology from it online. But it's crazy. And you would think that somebody would have the decency to have some kind of solvent, some cleansing items to wipe down the Vive, and maybe they weren't even thinking about it. Like, somebody just put it on there, but you got to put in consideration that people sweat. So, I mean, that was one thing that you was hearing from from people playing the PlayStation VR is that they sweat and it makes fog. So I don't know so much about the Vive or the Oculus Rift, but you would think that if you have your eye there, and then how can you control your eye touches that and somebody has some kind of condition and it just got some gunk and it's there. That's gross. It's just bad, man. So I mean, in all levels, it's just horrible. And that's why I'm saying, for the people that's bought them already or is going to buy them, they're basically the guinea pigs. And then hopefully they can get all of that fixed. Just like, I think it's always going to be people that get sick. But I just think that, man, it's just something that's keeping me further away. I'm not interested in the slightest right now after hearing that report. And like I said, I'll have that link in the description. But yeah, anytime that somebody says you want to play VR, I'm going to just tell them I'd rather have this come up at my front door. Or I'd rather somebody just go ahead and do this to me instead. Yeah, I'm being pretty serious about that. I mean, just thinking about it has made me grab and start using some disinfectants on the hands. I mean, it's just wild. But also, no offense to anybody that actually has the herpes virus, because, for the people that's been victimized, that's been passed around and shit like that, on a real serious note, I'm not trying to make fun of anybody that has that condition. It's just that just for having that type of situation go on is pretty bizarre, and just lack of common sense to use some sanitary items and things of that nature. So which it's just a bad situation all the way around. But on to another point, and my last point that I wanted to talk about. Now, yesterday I was at work. It was around 6 something in the morning on my time, on the time of the person that posted this and tagged me on a Facebook group saying that I was a fraud. See, I've been called a fraud here for the last couple of months. I guess it's just because people are desperate, just want to reach out, be an opportunist. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But what is funny to me is that these weird little people go into my achievements, right? And then they start listing all these, they start putting pictures of games that I haven't got to play yet, or that I've barely touched, or games that I played, but they weren't synced. So I still didn't get the achievements for them. And maybe I've got further in the games. Like, I mean, I played Lost Odyssey to the 3rd disc, but that wasn't shown. See, there's a lot of things that just cracks me up when it comes to these little funny bunny ass dudes that wants to talk about papers. Let me just make a point to you. For the gamers out there that play shooters or sports games, and they got like a 2, 3, 4,000 gamer score, or I guess I don't know how the trophies things work, but then yet you look at their wins loss totals and they got like 200-300 wins. They're putting in the work. They're still a gamer. It doesn't matter what kind of game they're playing. They're still putting in the time and the effort, and if, shout out to my boy Dorian Bumpus. We were just in there talking about it, chopping it up one night, and he's just like, man, just think of the achievements. We get those from way back in the days when we were gaming. Because we're root gamers. The X by 448. I know he sounds like he's 12, but he's a root gamer from 100 to Newark to, to so many other people that I talk to and associate with. Man, we are older gamers, and we have been putting in the work for a very long time. But it sounds like these little weirdos that likes to look at and talk about papers and stuff. They keep forgetting it. They sound like these new rappers that don't want to give any credit to the older generation of hip hoppers. If it wasn't for us that have talked to our parents to pay for these items and these things, and for us to, when we were teenagers, when we was working and we was putting our money and time and effort on these games, you wouldn't have these achievements that's about, less than a decade old? You know what I'm saying? No credibility. You could talk about my backlog all you want to. You can call me a fraud all you like. But there's so many other people out there that's just like me that has a backlog of games. Maybe you might need to buy more games. I don't know. But fact of it is that keep doing what you're doing, people. For people that want to yap and talk that junk, it's whatever. But I do like to hear your thoughts about it. Do achievements mean everything to you? Trophies, are those the staples of what is a true gamer? Is that what defines them? Shout out to my boy Fusky, because he brought that up on the next podcast. But it just reminded me of that. And everybody on the panel said no. Everybody in the chat said no. So, I mean, it is what it is, but I'd definitely like to hear your thoughts. Big shout out to Intro Media Gaming, to Nex, and to BGST. Everybody have a good night. Peace.
Wayne, all that's missing is the flip ups and the fade. I got Whitley's for days. Kanishiwa, it's not a game, no. Riches in the bitches, what I came for. Then I switched my angle. Was unchained like I'm the Django. Now that shit dangle to my